Have you ever wondered how wedding nights are celebrated in different parts of the world? Every culture has its own traditions and practices, and what may seem normal in one place may be surprising or even strange in another. In this exploration, we will take you on a fascinating journey through diverse African communities, where we will discover unique and sometimes shocking wedding ceremonies that reflect the rich cultural diversity of the continent. Imagine a wedding night where brides leave traces of blood on white cloths as proof of their virginity, or where a close relative of the bride is responsible for having intimate relations with the groom before he and the bride are united. Get ready to explore these and other surprising practices that will make you reflect on the meaning of marriage and the traditions surrounding it. We promise you a journey full of curiosities and discoveries that you won't want to miss. Join us on this dive into the intriguing wedding traditions of Africa. Let's begin our journey in Egypt, an iconic country and one of the most visited tourist destinations in Africa. Here, wedding ceremonies have a distinct focus on the bride's virginity. Unlike what you might imagine, the verification of purity does not fall on the groom, but is performed by a midwife specially invited to carry out this ritual. This expert, who has been trained in these practices, uses a white or light-colored handkerchief that she wraps around her fingers and, after performing the procedure, presents the evidence of blood to the groom's relatives as proof of the bride's virginity. This ritual, although it may be surprising to many, is an integral part of Egyptian wedding traditions and reflects the cultural importance attached to virginity in this context. It is important to note that after the ceremony, the groom is prohibited from receiving the blood-stained handkerchief. This act symbolizes respect for the bride and her family and highlights the seriousness with which the commitment of marriage is taken in Egyptian culture. This tradition is often seen as a cultural sacrifice that has been maintained over the years, which also raises questions about gender expectations and the social pressure that both men and women face in these wedding ceremonies. Our next destination is Namibia, where the Jimba tribe is known for its rich and meaningful wedding traditions. One of the most notable rituals involves preparing the bride for her first wedding night. This process includes smearing her head with cow fat, a practice that symbolizes her transition into married life. The bride also wears a ceremonial outfit made from animal parts, which represents wealth and status within the community. During the wedding night, the groom has the symbolic task of stripping the bride of this garment, an act that demonstrates his commitment and ability as a husband. This ritual not only reflects the bride's connection to her family and home, but also marks the acceptance of her new role in marriage. Symbols of fat and clothing are central to this transition, while the challenge the groom faces highlights his skill and strength. For the bride and groom, this tradition is filled with emotion and expectation. The bride feels proud of her role, and the groom knows that his success in this ritual will earn him respect and admiration from the community. This experience underscores the importance of preparation and cultural connection, creating a meaningful start to their married life. Continuing our journey, we arrive in Ethiopia, where the bride's virginity is a crucial element in wedding ceremonies. During the first night of the wedding, the bride wears a white head covering that must show traces of blood after intimacy. This moment is closely observed by the groom's witness and mother-in-law, who wait outside the door. At the end, the bride has the responsibility of presenting a bloody piece of cloth to the guests. If there is no blood, this is considered a total dishonor, and the groom has the right to punish her and demand the return of the dowry, which can have profound implications on the bride's life. In another Ethiopian tradition of the Jamer tribe, the groom must overcome a rite known as bukula, which involves jumping naked over a row of bulls. This challenge not only symbolizes his purity, but also his transition into adulthood. To be considered successful, the groom must cross the row of bulls 4 times without falling. If he fails, he will face social rejection and be seen as incapable of assuming the responsibilities of marriage. These traditions, although they may seem strange from an outside perspective, are fundamental to Ethiopian culture and reflect the deep respect for rites of passage and purity tests that characterize community life. In Rwanda, the wedding night features a unique tradition that defies conventional expectations. In this context, the bride takes on a dominant role, beginning the ceremony by beating her future husband. This act is seen as a symbolic release of any pent-up anger and a demonstration of her supremacy within the new family. The beatings, which may include punches, are accepted by the groom as proof of his endurance and commitment. This ritual establishes the dynamics of the relationship early on, showing that a strong marriage must begin with a clear balance of power and a show of emotional strength. This historical practice is based on the belief that it is necessary to establish a balance from the beginning of the relationship. The bride ensures a transparent and honest start to the relationship by releasing her tensions in this way. For his part, the groom, prepared for this ritual, knows that his ability to withstand blows will earn him respect and admiration from his wife and the community. The bride, in turn, feels a responsibility to establish her position in the relationship from the beginning, which underlines the value of strength and resilience in Rwandan culture. This tradition promotes a beginning of marriage that celebrates honesty and emotional balance, essential elements for life as a couple. In Uganda, some tribes have fascinating and surprising wedding traditions. In the Blee tribe, for example, the bride's aunt plays a crucial role during the wedding night. This woman, respected for her experience and knowledge, is present not only as an observer, but also as a guide and teacher, providing detailed instructions on how to proceed in intimacy. Although this practice may seem intrusive from an outside perspective, in the Blee community it is considered an act of support and wisdom. The aunt helps the couple start their married life on the right foot, ensuring that both parties feel safe and understood. This tradition encourages open communication from the beginning of the relationship, creating a solid foundation of trust and understanding between the couple. It also strengthens family and community ties, underlining the importance of shared knowledge and mutual support in married life. In this way, an environment is established in which the newlyweds can begin their life together with a strong support network that will help them navigate the challenges they may face. In Tanzania, we find a unique marriage practice known as absent knowledge of the bride and groom. In this tradition, the newlyweds do not see each other for the first time until after the first wedding night. This approach, commonly agreed upon by the parents of both, organizes the entire main celebration without the presence of the bride during the party. Meanwhile, the bride remains at home, awaiting the moment when she will meet her future husband. Only after the celebration, the groom heads home where his future wife awaits him, and they meet face to face for the first time, starting their life together in an atmosphere full of mystery and discovery. This first meeting is not only exciting, but also symbolizes purity and the beginning of a new life together, free from outside influences. Although the bride and groom are often nervous, they often find in this tradition a way to connect deeply from the first moment, creating a solid foundation for their future. This approach highlights the value of patience and anticipation in Tanan culture, underlining the importance of mystery and mutual exploration in building a marriage relationship. In the Shona tribe of Zimbabwe, the first night of a wedding is shrouded in mystery and anticipation. In this case, the bride decides when she will visit her husband, keeping the moment a secret. This practice tests the groom's patience, symbolizing his commitment and devotion to the bride. The arrival of the bride is a community celebration, accompanied by relatives and friends who eagerly await her arrival. This festive event is marked by authentic dancing and singing, creating an atmosphere that celebrates the beginning of married life. The arrival of the bride becomes a time of great joy, and the community comes together to celebrate the union of the couple, strengthening family and community ties. This tradition mixes nervousness and excitement, as the groom, not knowing when his wife will arrive, must demonstrate his patience. For her part, the bride feels empowered by choosing the moment of her arrival, symbolizing her active role in the relationship. Traditional dances and songs not only celebrate the union, but also honor the cultural roots of the Shona tribe, creating a memorable and meaningful start to married life. Finally, in Zambia, wedding traditions feature unique and fascinating practices. Before the wedding night, the bride receives special preparation with intimacy classes taught by experienced family members. These older women in the family share their knowledge and advice to ensure that the bride is well prepared for married life. During these classes, The bride learns both practical techniques and emotional aspects of the relationship, creating an atmosphere of support and camaraderie. In addition, symbolic rituals are performed, such as the use of oils or herbs believed to increase harmony in marriage. After the first night, the community shows great interest in whether the knowledge gained was useful, reflecting the importance of sexual education and proper preparation in Zambian culture. Older women often ask the bride about her experience and offer ongoing support if needed, underlining the value of shared wisdom and mutual support in married life. Through this journey, we have explored a small but significant number of wedding traditions in different African communities. Africa is a continent known for its cultural diversity, and each of these wedding ceremonies reflects deeply rooted values and beliefs in their respective societies. From the amazing rituals of Egypt to the festive celebrations of the Shona tribe, these practices are a manifestation of the continent's rich cultural heritage. It is important to note that while some of these traditions may seem primitive or strange from an outside perspective, each has a purpose and a history that deserves respect and understanding. Each wedding ritual is a way of celebrating life, togetherness, and community on different levels, and they represent the way cultures value commitment and interconnection between people. If this tour of African wedding traditions has surprised and fascinated you, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. We'd love to hear which of these traditions impressed you the most. Leave your thoughts in the comments and share this video with your friends so they can discover these fascinating customs too. Africa's cultural richness is waiting to be explored, and each tradition is an invitation to better understand human diversity and the meaning of love and togetherness in all its forms.